Mavs Celtics. Are we on the side of Luka, a cool European guy, and Kyrie Irving, or are we on the side of the fans who are chanting "fuck Kyrie"? Jackson, what's it gonna be?
You're nasty.
I'm gonna pose this question differently. let me tell you what. I'm not responding to that question. I'm gonna pose this question a different way. Are you guys on the side of a white man and a black man, or two black men as the leading stars for each team? That's the question.
This is Kristaps Porzingis erasure.
You're really rooting for Luka Doncic over Jaylen Brown, a guy from Atlanta who really reps
That's
Atlanta.
Disgusting. That's race baiting.
Interesting.
Guys, don't listen to Jackson's fucking typical podcast producer race baiting.
Oh yeah.
Race baiting.
I'm the one who did it. That's what happened.
Hey,
listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you when Luka earned a large portion of my respect. Like, I always knew he was a baller, but during that moment when Montrez called him a bitch ass white boy, and he did not victimize himself at all in the moment. He's like, bro, that's just basketball. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I was okay. This is my type of dude right here. Like, that was a huge moment for him where he could have gone the whiny white guy route, and he was like, nah, bro, that's just basketball. Y'all making it too much of a big deal of it. So
I think the problem we have with white people is whiteness, not actual white people. And he doesn't move in whiteness. You know what I mean? So, that's all. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't look at Luka like that. He a real one, dog. You feel me? So
Eastern Europeans don't like white Americans either. You know what I mean? It's
I'm
like,
talking
like
about,
that's a fact.
Right. I never really thought about it.
You think the Jokic brothers have, like, enjoy the suburban white aesthetic of the United States of America, bro? Anyway,
sorry to
let me get back to basketball. We'll talk basketball in a second, but I'm genuinely curious because I know you as a person, and I know who you enjoy standing with, and I know who you don't enjoy standing with. Yes, you, Jackson. Point at yourself.
Me?
It is, it's gonna be nasty as fuck between the Boston fans and Kyrie for the next 3 weeks.
Oh,
it's gonna be disgusting.
Oh my god, it's gonna be disgusting the way that they treat Kyrie. Because here's the thing. My dad, as we have discussed, is a big fan of this podcast. He's probably watching right now. My dad is not. I'm not saying he's going to say anything racist, but my dad is very. He's very like traditional sports fan, and that like he despises Kyrie.
I'm not saying you will say anything racist, but I'm also not saying you won't.
No. He's not going to. But he is I'm saying he's a 6-year-old man who's a traditional sports fan in the sense that nothing is going to change him of his opinion of his
Kyrie.
True into his spine hatred of Kyrie Irving, right? Purely for the way that I agreed at the time. The way Kyrie went out in Boston was horrible from a purely basketball standpoint.
Yeah.
From the sports perspective, it was ugly the way the departure, right? And if my dad is the most like reasonable version of that fan, yikes, brother. I mean
that makes me a bigger fan of the Mavs, bro. Like, I just can't see though. Like, I want to see you happy, Jackson, but it's bigger than you. I can't root for them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean the nastiness that comes from. You feel me? Except
that you. I mean, this is what's fascinating to me. Tyler and I are just sitting over here, I assume, both rooting for the Mavs and enjoying whatever chaos ensues. But Jackson's the Celtics fan.
Reasonable.
And I know you want to see Jayson Tatum average 45 a game and win Finals MVP and win a championship.
Look at the hat on your head, John. You're going to root against that hat?
No, I'm never rooting against the hat.
Yeah.
St. Louis is bigger than Tatum, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get you. Yeah. That's why I love Tatum, because he's from St. Louis. But anyway.
So you guys, you're rooting for the Celtics too on some level, aren't you?
It's hard, bro. It's hard. Like, I mean, I want to see Jayson Tatum win. I'm not the same like fan of him that I was in years prior. I just wonder if Jayson Tatum has what he needs in order to, to win chips. I wonder if he has that dog in him in those big moments, the things that are necessary in order to win chips. I wonder. So like I don't know, but it's just really hard for me. Dude, I went back and forth with Boston, nigga. Like when I wrote this shit about Bob Cousy, And like the beat writers were on my head and shit. I'm like, this nigga averaged 19 points off of 19 shots, nigga. You want me to say this motherfucker top 75 ever? Fuck that nigga. He shot 40% from the field. Anyway, we gotta get into that. Man, gotta get into that. You know what I mean?
No, but for real, it's like, you want me to take Klay Thompson off a list for this dude?
Right. I know how nasty those motherfuckers are and how racist it gets when you're on the wrong side of them. You feel me? So like, if rooting for Tatum is siding with that, I just can't side with that, G. That's just how I feel today. We'll see what happens when the fucking balls tip. And I'm thinking about when I saw him and he was fucking 17 playing basketball. You feel me? We'll see what happens. But
John would also buy like a book of poems written by Kyrie Irving, though. So like
No,
John would consume any Kyrie Irving.
if it's
content.
outside,
Did y'all buy the
basketball,
Tupac poetry book? I had the Tupac book of poetry.
Yeah, I remember when
did
that
that
shit
come
dropped.
from?
I remember when they dropped an album with that shit and everything, bro. Like
Yeah.
Most Def did
Yeah.
shit on there. We're reading
Yeah,
like
was it the
songs
rose
and
that grew
poems
through
and shit.
concrete? It had like
Yeah,
handwriting
the rose
in
that
it
grew
too.
through concrete. Yeah.
Shit was
I don't
good.
know if I even remember that. But no, I mean, I anything off the basketball court, I'm generally not,
I
gonna
know,
lean
I didn't mean it
into.
like that.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I do love Kyrie's game, and it's probably my favorite, probably my favorite player to watch in the league currently. Him or KD when KD's going crazy.
The chat is in full agreement with everyone on this podcast about the Celtics fans. We have a Celtics fan in the chat being like, I'm not defending our fans. We have some people,
Wow.
shout out Leslie, being like, I went to college in Boston and I continue to root against their teams 20 years later. Boston fans are the worst. So there is a
Reasonable
pretty
chat. Reasonable
strong
chat.
anti-Boston fan sentiment across the board, I would say.
Reasonable chat.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think. We were in Boston. We went to Boston for a couple of days. It was, I don't know. Whatever. I don't really have any Boston stories. Let's do.
I know people that lived in Boston that really liked Boston, the city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
For sure.
Yeah. But it's not Boston, the city. It's Boston sports fans. They're just nasty as fuck.
I mean, I think
know
it
what
would
I mean?
probably be like if I could go back. Well, I'll put it like this. Like, y'all know I have family in New Jersey, and like, they grew up in like an Italian slum in New Jersey. That was probably the most racist spot on earth. Like, it was probably disgusting. Like, working class white people are fucking, it's a lot of culture, but the culture is not typically shit you agree with when it comes after you leave the restaurant. Like,
Right.
cook it, like the food in Boston or in Little Italy is like Kyrie playing basketball for you. I'm going to separate that from whatever else.
I lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. So, like, I think after living there, I could probably figure out Tennessee is bro, that state is nasty when it comes to racism. You know what I mean? So,
I told you
I
about
feel-
that shit at yeah. Yep.
oh, yeah, okay.
I told you my aunt lived in Nashville. I told you about when we took it. Char and I took a road trip with my best friend from Poly, who is black, and they were literally like, they're following us around every store we go in, all this type of shit.
Yeah.
And he and I walked out of the store, and he was like, it's not like there's not racism in Southern California. He's like, I've never had a security guard like glued to my ass in a fucking
bro.
Best Buy like that,
Yeah, so.
Because in Southern California, they're like sneaky about it. They're probably they're surveilling him on they're watching him on the CCTV or some shit. They were like this close to us like the whole time we were in the store. And that was Nashville. That's like
Anyway. Memphis is special outside of Memphis, though. Whatever.
Love Memphis. Mavs Celtics, first impressions of the actual series, what we think is going to happen. Do we want to do predictions today, or do we want to save that for the 3 episodes between now and the
I
final?
want to stretch some shit out now.
Yeah, we got to spread it out for sure. It's going to be real thin, brother.
Next episode,
Jesus
we'll talk
Christ.
about our thoughts on the Mavs. The episode after that, we'll talk about our thoughts on the Celtics. And the episode after that, we'll do predictions.
When did the finals start? Is it middle of next week, Tuesday of next week or something?
They
It's a
start
week from today.
Thursday of next week.
Thursday of next week?
Yeah, that's all good. We got other
that's
shit to
nasty.
talk about.
Oh, we'll have fun.
Yeah.
But that's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I appreciated you guys were talking about why you appreciated the Wolves winning one game. It's like Jackson and I are like, we really appreciate that we don't have 9 days in between basketball games.
Right.
Sitting there like, we could talk about, just like looking around, we could talk about this piece of machinery that attaches the lights. We could talk about this mic cover. That's a topic. Look at that. It's squishy. Isn't that funny? That would have been the pod,
Laugh,
bro.
please laugh at me.
Please clap.
That would have been the whole pod. Like, whose pencil sharpener sharpens pencils the fastest?
You have a fucking pencil sharpener?
I got a teacher's desk.
That's a relic, nigga.
I got a teacher's desk sitting right here, brother.
Bro, I haven't seen
I got everything you could.
We got basketball to talk about, so why do we have to get into this?
Actually, hold on.
We'll save this for next week.
Look at Shar's fancy marker collection.
Were those Copic markers? What are those?
I don't know. They're markers.
Look at the title. Pull a marker out. What is it called?
Hoo.
Oh, those are. They're paint markers, though, right?
Hoo-hoos.
That's why she's so good at. She's a real artist.
Oh, the hoo-hoos.
Of course, the hoo-hoos.
Anyway, that one win by the Wolves saved us from 45 minutes of that.
I'm really interested in the hoo-hoos, honestly. But
initial
anyway.
impressions of the series, Tyler. We were having some conversation about Jayson Tatum and the mentality. We just got a real good look at who Luka is right now. What do you think when you think about this series?
I mean, like I said, this was, once I saw how the Mavs were playing this postseason, once I saw the way this Western Conference Finals was going, like, this was the matchup that I wanted. I wanted Dallas versus Boston, right? Because we got, I think it's safe to say that Luka and Kyrie have established themselves as the best backcourt in the league right now. They're going up against the best defensive backcourt in the league right now with White and Drew. I love that matchup there. And Boston is also a team that, like I said, they were killing Minnesota here because, Minnesota was built to beat Denver. They've got a lot of height, and so they were killing them on the switch. Boston, bro, if you get a switch from Derek White to Tatum, you're still in a good spot if you're a Boston fan watching that switch, right? Like, so, they can switch, with White, Drew, JB and JT. So I'm very much looking forward to that matchup there. And I will save the predictions for the next show. But yeah, that is the matchup that I'm looking for. And it's like what John said when we were having fun with this Minnesota team this postseason. Like the discussion was Ant is emerging as like the face of the league. And I think Ant has established himself as like the most charismatic dude, the best interview in the league. But Luka's like, y'all can have that little cute face of the league shit. I'm trying to prove I'm the best player in the world. Right. And I feel like that's the path that he's on these finals. And I'm definitely looking to see how that story ends this postseason. So
I think Ant Edwards is the future. I think Luka that's cool. I got now, nigga.
Yeah.
See you in the future. You feel me? We'll see what happened then, but I got now. You know what I mean?
Well,
I just feel like go ahead.
I was just, and this is step one for Ant. Right. I mean, he's 22 years old. He's going to get the playoff experience that Luka's had. He'll get hopefully some better pieces around him. Hopefully he keeps a personality. And he'll be back. But it was just so clear watching this game. One dude knew exactly what he was doing. The other dude was getting by his guy on the drive and kicking it out. And you know what I mean? With the lane to the rim. And he didn't look comfortable. The way he looked comfortable playing loose in game 4, he didn't look comfortable to me tonight. And, Luka had games like that when he was younger. He's not having games like that right now, though.
Yeah, we talked about it, and they talked about it at halftime. The inside guys or whatever. They said, it's two players that know exactly what they need to do to win. They know their spots in the court. They know exactly what they need to execute in order to win. And there's one guy who's trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's what Ant's still trying to figure out, hey, what does it take to win? You know what I mean? So I just that's a lot to ask from a 22-year-old to go up against these veterans that have, been here before. Yeah. Kyrie's won a chip before, so we'll give him the same. We'll give. I mean, he'll get a couple years of passes, just like we gave Tatum. Right. All that shit, and anybody that's super young trying to figure it out. It's not time yet for us to really judge him based upon
of
this
course
playoff
not.
alone.
He's a kid,
he'd be a senior in fucking college right now.
Right.
But
I think this is the kind of finals you hope for. There's superstars on both teams, and there's also role players who can step up, but who also know they're role players. I think at the end of the third quarter, Luka and Kyrie both had, shots in the teens. One person had 6 shots, and then there was 7 people who had 3 shots or fewer.
Yeah, filling in where they could.
We know what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? We understand the value of the screen. We understand if we get an open look in the corner, we need to knock it down. And other than that, is these two dudes right here are going to score 72 points tonight. That's what we're here to support. And I'm excited because you have two, not necessarily the most veteran teams in terms of experience. Like we talk about Luka versus Tatum, one of these dudes is going to win their first championship. But you have teams that are made to be championship teams. Superstar talent, good role players, defensive identities, emerging defensive identities. So I couldn't really be more excited. And I'm with Tyler, man. I'm on board obviously I'm a Celtics hater, so it's easy for me to figure out who I want to win. But I'm on board the Luka train, man. I mean, that's Luka breaking the hearts of Boston, Kyrie breaking the hearts of Boston. That would be tasty.
I love a motherfucker who's cold and will let you know they cold. You know what I mean? I'm cold as fuck, and I'm letting everybody know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being cute about it. I'm not pretending I ain't me, nigga. I'm me. Deal with it. And I love that energy. That's what you want from the best player in the world. That's what you want from a guy that's leading somebody into a championship. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. I love seeing that. I love arrogant people on the basketball court. Off the court, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? But when you're on the court, I want you to be dragging your nuts on these niggas. Can't nobody guard you. I love people like that. He lets people know what time it is. He's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah. Jackson, your first thoughts just on the actual basketball series.
My first thoughts are the Celtics definitely need Kristaps Porzingis.
What's the timeline on that?
That seems to be the hope. Mazzulla has not given an actual timetable yet. He said he's progressing well. Kristaps tweeted the other day, like, see you in the finals. So I think he certainly expects to be there. I do think that without him, the Mavericks would and should be favored. With him, I think maybe you say the Celtics are a slight favorite. I think it's pretty close to a coin toss, honestly. I do think I will be the thing that I'm most curious about from a basketball-y standpoint is how the Celtics choose to guard, right? Like, my assumption is they will start with Derek White on Kyrie Irving, and that's sort of all I can sort of assume for sure. That I think I'm pretty confident about that. My guess is they put Jaylen Brown on Luka to start, Tatum on PJ Washington, and say give Drew Holiday the role he's been in for most of the season, which is guard the other team's worst player, Derek Jones in this case, and just play free safety. Be like the smartest. Ed Reed, like, no one is smarter than this guy on the defensive end, and no one has the physical tools to be able to execute on those smarts like he does, which is what they've been doing the vast majority of the season. It's what they did in the most of the Pacers series. They put Drew on Tyrese occasionally, but mostly they had him sort of guarding other players. And my guess is that's how they'll start. It's how long that goes before they're like, okay, Drew, time to like guard Kyrie or time to guard.
So
Luka.
the idea is that, Drew's always in help. You know what I mean? He's
always
have to deal with
like,
Drew. You know what I'm saying?
He has the best hands. Yeah. You got to deal with him no matter where he is.
That's interesting.
And it's interesting. And I'll be curious to see how they do that. And I'll be curious to see. My guess is, and the way I would approach it is to not do what the Timberwolves have to do, which is like a lot of blitzing Luka to feel like I think they're going to just switch pretty much everything and just to your they're 2-0 against the Mavericks this year. Both those games, Luka and Kyrie put up big numbers, and I think they'll probably be like, we are going to let you guys not let you, but try to make those guys get 40 each. Beat us if you guys are going to combine for 80.
I think this team is
fucking
very
hats off to you.
When did they play them?
But
when did they play them?
Right, one of them was pre-trade deadline.
Okay.
And so this team is very different.
The defense, if a particular defense, and they've got a more.
The Mavericks defense is good. They got a lot. They got really smart roster construction on the offensive end. It's going to be a real challenge both directions. I think
we do have the DraftKings odds on the series have been posted. Celtics pretty big favorites -225.
Wow.
Mavs +200. So
wow, the Celtics are a better team, but like we said, that doesn't.
But Tyler
matter.
said it.
The Mavs were a better team too. I mean,
Tyler said it like a month ago.
Too,
it feels like you got the Heat with no Jimmy Butler. You got the Cavs banged up as fuck. You got the Pacers with no Tyrese Halliburton, and now you get a Mavs team that hasn't won a championship with any of these dudes. So you're the big bad Boston Celtics. You're the big favorites. You got dudes that have won every awards out there. Like, you got to win. And if you don't, I already know what Tyler's posting.
You already know. That the meme is coming, baby. That split screen. But look, this is where I stand with Boston's postseason. If they win a championship, no excuses at all. I don't think anyone saying that easy path shit is valid. Like I said, you got to play who's in front of you. We can't postpone the postseason for 2-3 weeks because guys aren't healthy, right? You got to keep the shit going. The show has to go on. But if they lose, Oh, buddy, we can talk about that. We can talk about how, you went through a Heat squad with no Jimmy, a Cavs squad with no Donovan, a Pacers squad with no Hallie, a Mavs squad on their first trip. Yeah, that's going to be some valid shit to criticize you about. But like I said, if they win it all, no knock on them at all.
I will still put a knock on them. In the same way that Celtics fans knock the Lakers over the bubble championship shit. It's like,
don't be them. Don't sink to their level, man.
I'm gonna go lower. That's my.
They go low.
Take it down.
You're telling me go higher, Tyler?
No, I'm saying I think that any type of that ring is phony. I just don't think that's valid in any type of discussion, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just I feel like I have to go through the motions, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because even Celtics fans who talk shit on the bubble championship, I just look at them really, and it's no, but I gotta, and I'm like, all right, I understand that. So I feel like I have to have the same approach. But yeah, I mean, no one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? No one go back and tell me who. I know Tyler probably could do it, but go back and tell me who, every team Jordan went through. You remember the championships, bro. That is what it is. I'm with you 100% on that. In a vacuum. If they win, we'll see how I feel about that at that time.
I feel if they lose, this stamped is over with. Blow that motherfucker up, dog. You know what I mean? I just feel like if they lose this, where it's been set up for them to win, they're coming in the favorites. They're the much better team. You feel me? I just refuse. Don't tell me shit about these motherfuckers forever. I don't want to hear another motherfucking thing about these and what they should be doing. I don't give a damn, bro.
God, I just want to be sitting here in 2 weeks asking Jackson who the Celtics should get rid of.
It's served up on
who do you build around? Tatum's more talented, but Jaylen might be more of a leader. I just want to be having that conversation.
Jaylen's more efficient, when you break down the numbers. I don't know.
His bag
Elijah isn't as nice, but you know what I mean. I don't know.
Elijah said that in the playoffs, Mike has been the MVH, the most valuable hitter in these playoffs. Respect to that. I think what's interesting about this series, not to get all cliche Sports Center analysis on it, but it's the Celtics, I think, pretty clearly have a better 3, 4, and 5 best, and then the Mavericks do. But the Mavericks pretty clearly have a better 1 and 2, I think, at this point. The way that we all feel confident about the way they're playing.
If they don't have a shot in the series.
Right, and so it's do the Celtics' best 2 players match them? Because I think that's all you got to do is match them. Because I think the rest of the roster sort of points to the Celtics. You can match them, Celtics probably win. Or do do they not match them, and then that's enough? Or do the Dallas role players really have a great series and sort of take it pretty easy?
I can see how nervous you are saying that
I'm
Tatum
so
has to
nervous,
match Luka.
dude. I'm so nervous.
This is the thing. I think this is the thing. I don't think Tatum can match Luka. We've seen what I mean. I don't.
Jackson
he
says
can.
That's what
I don't
he's
know
got
if
to
he
do.
will.
Jackson says
I don't
that's
know
what
if
he's got to do for them.
I don't know if
win.
he can. I don't know if he will. And I don't know if he has to. I feel like him and Jaylen Brown are a better tandem than Ant and Cat for sure. You know what I mean? And so, they're more reliable.
Right.
I think we can say that, as a whole, than those two. And so when you break down 3 through 5, it's really not that close. You know what I mean? So but like I said, we said the same thing with the Timberwolves. And I will see what happens. And those motherfuckers have barfed on themselves in big moments. And I'm just past the point where even lying to myself or expecting them to be anybody other than they've been in these playoffs.
You'd call them more fat.
Yeah, more fappable. They're the most fappable duo.
That lotion is always in the arms of those guys,
Bro.
People who are tuning in who missed the start of the
Extremely
show
fappable.
Wondering what's happening on
what
this
do they
broadcast.
call what do they call them, the Jays at the Celtics, the Jergens Jays?
Some people call them the Jays. Yo.
Are you a Jergens man?
Yo.
I'm a Vaseline intensive care guy myself, but hey, you don't judge me here.
Yo.
We are a bunch of
the consistency. All right, we can move on.
We've all had a difficult time buying tickets. Lakers games are expensive, but I try and find games to take my son Vinny to. It's hard to find good deals, especially at the last minute.
You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you.
The Lakers have a ton of home games the remainder of the year. I like that in the Game Time app, they have last-minute tickets. You can see views from every seat.
Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Their all-in pricing shows your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you buy. They also have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code J&J for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code JANDJ for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
We're this close to crowning an NBA champ, and with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. There are only 4 teams left, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odd boosts, and so much more.
Think the T-Wolves will continue their hot streak? Or maybe you feel that the Pacers' Cinderella run continues. Throw up to $1,500 with DraftKings no-sweat bet. New customers can deposit at least $5 and you'll get a bonus bet back equal to your first bet if it doesn't hit.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins, Jenkins, for new customers to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.